we both know Mike hyped up John Collins all the time, and he was one of the only, if not the only, NBA player in the Drew League to foul out and then lose.
He's playing hard.
He had to play hard if he lost to. And Trae Young was playing with him.
He's got to work on that defensive rating.
Exactly. The one that supposedly was supposed to be better than Julius Randle in Mike's mind.
But here's the thing, though. Like, is anybody even really trying in the Drew League?
I mean, the guys who aren't NBA players are definitely trying.
Outside of, like, LiAngelo Ball, who tried to put up 60 the other night.
But here's the thing. A lot of guys that are good enough don't have to try that hard to do well in these summer leagues because they're not playing NBA talent. Yes, a lot of these guys are really good. Don't get me wrong. Like, I couldn't go out there and beat anybody. But, like, when in the Drew League, it was DeRozan and LeBron. Like, they weren't putting out 100% effort. But they went out, took care of business pretty easily, and had a great game. And then you have just in Philly, there's this thing it's like one weekend a year in the summer. It's called the Danny Rumpf Classic. And Tyrese Maxey and Isaiah Joe teamed up with Marcus Morris, and they won the championship of that pretty easily. And they weren't giving like 100% effort. And they're not even supposed to be up at the level of a Trae Young and John Collins and that kind of stuff. So it's like, they definitely aren't giving that much effort, but they also shouldn't need that much effort.
You know how people are like UFOs are real and you know what I mean? Like those type of people. There are literally people out there who believe that there has been a player who's walked the earth, even though people don't know who he is, and I don't know who he is, but I'm not talking about one specific person. I'm talking about there are people out there who believe that there are people out there who are better than Michael Jordan.
Right.
They just never got noticed. You think anybody's worried about setting picks and all that shit in the street ball? Who's doing all the what your zone coverage is like and all that stuff? And nobody cares about that. It's ISO ball.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's what it like. These pro-ams and stuff are. Bring your game and beat people based off of pure skill and talent.
Who's gonna go up over the screen and who's gonna go under the screen?
Yeah, that's not happening. And that further proves that there are plenty of guys that just love the game more because they're out there like hustling in pro-am games. Like some guys are giving a good amount of effort at pro-am games, and it's just because they love basketball. But B, it also shows me that if you can't even score effortlessly against guys that didn't even make the NBA, then I have no confidence in you scoring when you are giving effort against NBA level talent.
All right, but here's the thing: like John Collins is not a great defender.
No,
obviously, he fell, 5 fouls out but he's a double guy. He's a good scorer. He doesn't suck, and let's just also remember that he's coming off a pretty significant finger injury. In addition, I believe he had a knee injury, so he was dealing with multiple injuries for a long time throughout the regular season and into the postseason. So let's give him a little bit of slack.
I mean, I'm saying I'm not putting that much weight into it because, I mean, also on the other hand, there was just a video of Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, and Obi Toppin all teamed up in a New York Pro-Am, and they lost.
But do you expect? I mean, Julius Randle's not even putting effort in during the regular season. He's going to put effort in during,
The bad part is they gave so little effort that there was 2 players on the other team that dropped 40 points each. That's crazy. And when I bring up John Collins, I'm not giving a pass either to Trae Young. Like Trae Young should have put up 60. Trae Young is one of the best scorers in the league.
But I don't know why these guys are participating in it. For one, you're going to get hurt, possibly.
True.
Two, you ever like if you're at a bar and you got a midget, and I don't know if I can even use that term, right? A small person, whatever the term
Right.
is these days. If you're at a bar and this guy picks a fight with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in a no win situation. If you kick this
Right.
guy's ass, you beat up a midget. If he kicks your ass, you got your ass kicked by a midget.
True.
There's not one situation where you're going to look good in that. So for these guys that have nothing to gain here, you want to scrimmage? Go get your teammates together.
Or do like what, like Scotty Barnes and James Harden and them are doing with the trainers, do the like open run pickup games. Yeah, they still record those and stuff, but like everyone knows like, oh, it's just an open run, it's just a pickup game, it's not
But at
anything
least there's
crazy.
all professionals
Right, exactly.
or guys at a professional level.
Right. So you're even bettering your game at that point. When you're playing these pro am games and stuff, if you're not giving effort, then you're not bettering your game. Also, like you said, you could get hurt. And for what? Like it's not like you're winning anything in these pro am games. And a third thing is like again, like you said, it is a lose-lose because if you look bad against people that aren't NBA talent, then people start questioning your talent. And if you do well against these different players in pro am games, people will like might praise you for a little bit, but then be like, but it's just a pro am.